Hey YouTube, well it's Wednesday morning, the 18th, and I took the stove. When we originally had this, built this house, there was no electricity here, so I bought this propane stove, which we've had now for, I don't know, 15 years or better. And the problem with it is that the oven pilot didn't want to stay lit. And I tried getting a new part for it, but the part wasn't the right part, and I can't get parts for this thing, and it's pretty disappointing. They say the parts are there, but they're not the right length, so I couldn't make them fit. So anyway, we bought a new range, and we've been waiting now for weeks to get it. And today it's supposed to be delivered from Lowe's. So I paid 20 bucks for them to get rid of this thing, so I don't have to contend with it. And they ought to be here soon, I'm hoping. So I have this, like I say, it's out of the house, obviously. I'll show you where it was in there then. So this is where the stove goes in our kitchen. And I have the pipe, I think you can see it right here. It's a propane pipe with a valve on it to hook up to the stove, so I'm hoping that's not going to be a biggie. And I need to change it from natural gas to propane, so we should be able to do that pretty quickly. So I'm just waiting for them to get here, which is a bore. I wanted to start doing more planing, but I can't be planing all covered in sawdust and then trying to put this thing together, because she won't let me in here. But anyway, that's the next step. Hey guys, I thought this might be interesting to you. So I'm at the house here, at the counter, and you can see that there's a thing there that says the stove is to be delivered on the 11th between 10 and 12. Okay, the 11th came and went. So then we got this the other day. Lowe's have to be delivered on, or the stove is to be delivered sometime between noon and 2. Okay, noon and 2. Well, just to let you see, there's where the stove goes, and this is the time, 5:45. No stove in sight anywhere, and no phone call and no messages. And as you can see, the old stove still sits there. So, you know, Sally figured she'd make some kind of supper tonight, so we ended up with stuff from the microwave, which we're not used to because we're an old family, the two of us, and we're used to regular cooking. So tonight, no cooking, and it looks like tomorrow ain't going to be any cooking because I'm not bringing that stove back in the house. What a shame. Lowe's, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but you know what? Keep it up, because you're only going to put yourself out of business. Not even a phone call, and it's almost 5 hours later. Hey guys, well it's Thursday morning now. Freaking people from Lowe's never showed up, and now they're saying that they called to say they weren't coming, not that they were coming. So to call and say they weren't coming between 12 and 2, right? Anyway, they never showed up, and our stove is out in the driveway, which doesn't help my wife's kitchen manner at all. But I've got to take care of the chicken kennel today, so I'm going to go after that. Managed to get some wood. That the wood that was on there was all ash. I was hoping that Carmine would be here to let me know what was going on with this, but I couldn't wait because it's getting too close to October, and sometimes it snows the first week of October here, so I got to get everything cleaned up as best I can before that happens. So I'm going to do the chicken coop right now, and then I'm going to come back to doing some planing, and hopefully I can get the one side there knocked down a little bit. I'll get back to you. Hey guys, so I get some questions on different kinds of boards and things like that. Now if you look good, you can see this is a piece of white pine. Now there's no snipe on this end of this, but if you look down here, it's a piece of clear actually. If you look down here, I know you can barely see it, but there's a little line here. There's a little bit of snipe in there. Okay, in other words, it goes down because of the way the board went through the planer. Now, to give you an idea of how to set this up, when the planer table is down, both sides, that should be perfectly level through there, that it's level on top of the stainless steel that's running in here. Okay, so in other words, this goes right through there. If you lay something on there, it'll touch this, it'll touch the stainless, it'll touch the piece going out. So once you have that, then what you need to do is line up with that the top of the roller. Now you can leave the roller down a little bit, but you don't want to leave it down much. I'm talking like 1/8 of an inch. So the roller here and that roller over there are lined up with this planer. Now I'm not going to stand here and tell you that it's level, because it's not level. I think it's leaning probably down this way a little, but it may be. I'm not saying whether it is or not. I'm just saying it might not be. However, as long as in geometry you have 3 things that line up in the same straight plane, that's a straight line. So what we have there then is we have a board that if a flat board goes through there, it's going to make it from one end to the other, go on top of this roller, be on top of that roller, and you'll have a nice flat board. Well, there's a problem with this. Wood is not always flat. 99% of the wood that comes out of a tree is not flat, okay, in most cases. Now that might be a high percentage, but regardless. So one of the ways that I fight that is I leave the boards 8'3" or longer. Okay, so that means that if we cut this board off at 8'3", I'm down here, I'm in front of where the snipe is. What happens is the snipe, there's 3 rollers, okay, 1, 2, 3, that this goes through. And once it passes through the first 2, sometimes it moves up if the board is wanting to do that because of the shape of it. So if you look down this board, you can see at that very end down there, it has like a little crook. It crooks to the right, okay, and it has a little bit of a twist in it. Now this is not a bad board. This is a clear white pine. You can use this to make anything. You just got to be a little, you got to know how to do it, okay, that's all I'm saying. But what I'm after here is that when you set up your planer, make sure that the planer is set on either a level table or a flat, you know, the plane where the wood runs from here to there, even if it's a flat table, that it is flat with the planer. That's the most important thing. Moving it through the planer, sometimes you see me go up or down with the handle. That's because the wood's either thick or thin and I can't get it to move through the planer properly, because this planer only gives you at the maximum 1/8 of an inch planing capability. So you have to work it a little. But on the last plane, you have to let it go through entirely without adjusting the handle. Now if you watch me, I do that, okay, because I'm keeping the track of what I'm doing here. But I'm just saying that's how the planer works the best. So anyway, we've got some nice white pine mixed up with some of this red oak, and I think there might be a little cherry in there, but we're working nice and easy here on this today because for one thing, we finally got done with all the other work. Now as far as the stove goes, we were upset about that. We decided it's not worth getting upset over. We'll just go buy food if we have to, you know, that's cooked. So anyway, I just thought you'd like to know how I'd go about doing that. Now if I come against something else, I'll show you what the story is with it. Okay, so just to show you the difference, now there's a piece of white pine underneath that oak, but what you're looking at here is red oak. Now this piece of red oak with these tiny little knots, they're like this, there's a tiny mark in the board here and here, probably 1/8 of an inch. These would be good for making furniture. It's not going to hurt anything. I mean, unless you're looking to have absolutely clear, you know, you could still get the clear boards out of the middle of this. The point is it's a very nice looking piece of red oak, and that's basically what we get out of the red oak. You know, it's just a nice looking grain, looks good all the way up the board. So And the good thing here, just to let you know, is when I put that red oak board through just now, it was about an inch thick, you know, little hair more than an inch and a 1/16, say. And it took me a couple passes to get through it, but both sides are planed, the board is flat, and the board looks nice. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. This stuff here, I'll put in a special spot. Same thing with the bigger boards that are nice. Something like this one right here, you know, it's got a nice grain in it. You can actually see the tree in the grain if you look close. But I personally am not too keen on having to epoxy stuff or fill it with a lot of wood filler. But that doesn't mean that there's not guys out there who would. I'm just saying. So anyway, we're just going to keep going. Sometimes you get some really nice boards. Now this one is a little wavy on the edge, but I can cut that on the saw. Here's the thing. This is a clear board. It's got some interesting grain in it. None of it is goofed up in any way. And it's a very nice piece of red oak. Now there's a lot more of these in there, and as we go, we've been able to pick out the logs a little bit better than before as to which logs we want to cut. A lot of them are nice, some of them are not nice. This boards like that, I'll take and put to the side, you know, somewhere special, because that there is definitely the $8 per board foot board. No reason why you can't get $8 a board foot for stuff that looks like that. There's another nice piece of red oak there. That's a clear board. I'm loving them $8 a board foot. Okay guys, so I'll show you a little something different now here. If you look at this top board, it's not a bad looking board, it looks nice, okay, as far as the grain and stuff goes. But if you look here, you'll see that I have it cut pretty thin. It's not 3/4 of an inch like the one underneath it there, it's 1/2 inch. That's because there was a cup in it, and the cup was so bad that I couldn't get the board flat within the 3/4 of an inch, so I had to take it down to 1/2. Now just to show you what that can do, or how bad that can be, take a look at this board. This board has got a crack already started in it, and the thing is it's nice looking wood as far as that goes, but the crack that's in there is goofing me up. Even though this is on both sides, this is quarter sawn, it's vertical, it's perfect quarter sawn, but you know, we've got the center of the tree there and it cracked there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this board down the middle, and then I'll go ahead and plane it. Now I'm not going to cut it right now because I don't have the saw ready, but I'm just saying, if you look across here, you know, you'll lose that board. There's no way you can get 3/4 of an inch out of this when it's cupped that bad. So I'm just trying to show you what you might want to do with something like that. If you cut it down the middle, you can plane both sides, and then you'll get the 3/4 inch board you're looking for. But other than that, we're not looking bad here. We got a nice pile of boards on the left side there. They're all looking pretty good. These top ones here now must have come from the same log, because there's a lot of the same width, which is an odd width. But anyway, just to show you what can happen with the cup boards. So sometimes you can plane the cup out, and sometimes you have to cut the board to get a straight board out of a board that's been cupped. I hope that you understand. Well guys, I stopped planing for today because I have a couple other things I have to do. I'm not sure what my wife wants to do for supper. I may have to take her out. Gotta see what's gonna happen here. But anyway, I got some more of that done. I have it underneath plastic here just to keep some of the moisture off of it. But we'll be alright with that. What I wanted to say is that stuff that I've been taking out of there is roughly 8% moisture content, which is pretty good, because that wood's only been in there for a little more than a month. So it's pretty nice and dry when you cut it. It doesn't give me any grief. So just thought you'd like to know that. So I'll be done for today. The temperature inside the kiln, even when it was open, was still 110. So it's about 115 in there now. 30% or a little less moisture content, which is all good. So we're supposed to get some rain, I think, on Monday. Today's Thursday. That'll give me a couple days to work on this, and I hope it works out. Have a good one, guys. There's not a whole lot of green left. Well, I should say there won't be a lot of green left. Right now it's pretty green. Some leaves are turning, but I just wanted to take a picture of this because in about another month you're going to see totally different here.